Professor Stiglitz, thank you again for being with us today. So we had a very intense lecture, I would say, in the theater here in Trento. Now, as you said, climate change is on top of the list of your worries, and I'm sure there's much shared worry, but then you insisted on equality and inequality, so disparity among communities, probably saying that it's stronger than what it was before.
Clearly, it's gotten worse. We have seen since the beginning of the era of neoliberalism, some 40, 45 years ago, inequalities have increased in many, many ways. They've increased to a different extent in different countries. And in the United States, it's been the worst. And let me say, in the United States, we can see not only inequalities in income and wealth, but also in health, opportunity, basically even access to justice. But it's also true to varying degrees in different European countries. And in each of these different dimensions.
Do you see it in your experience? I mean, you've been several times in our country, so in Italy. Do you also see this here?
The data is very strong for Italy, that there is a growth in inequality, a high level of inequality, and a low level of opportunity. Italy is, the data is a little bit more complicated, interpreting the data, than in other countries, because you have a very large north-south divide. And in some sense, one has to look at the inequalities within the north, inequalities in the south, and the inequalities between the north and south. And I think maybe there are different economic forces at play that one needs to examine more carefully, which makes the Italian case a more interesting case for understanding inequality.
I would like to ask about technological development and monopoly in those fields. Of course, we all know, we know the simple experience of Googling represent one of these cases. So is this a major danger in your perspective?
Yes, it is. These are the technologies that play a very large role in our economy today and are likely to play an even larger role in the future. The dominant position, almost monopoly position, is strengthened because of what we call network externalities, large fixed costs. Everybody agrees that Twitter, for instance, under Musk, is dangerous. A lot of people would like to move off of Twitter, but Twitter has become the public space, the public platform. And so as much as people may dislike Musk and what he is doing to the platform, it's very hard to create a competitor. So that illustrates the monopoly power that it occurs. It also illustrates these have very large public roles, and unfortunately, they're used for private profit. And the argument that the pursuit of private profit is in the public interest is not true. We see a whole array of social harms over the social media. The business model is engagement, which makes them money, through enragement, through polarization. And so they've set out with a business model that has contributed to the polarization of our society. And so they've created clearly something that is in many ways dangerous for a society, and yet it's controlled by relatively few people, relatively few firms.